What's up, people? It's that man you all know and love, your man Urban Lover, coming from your mama basement, baby. And I'm gonna get right back into my free series, and this one is with Lou Deng and Joe Johnson. I'm gonna start off Lou Deng, and this has come from CBS Sports once again, and the analysts break them down like this. Welcome back, Lou Deng. After it seemed like his best years were behind him, Deng snapped back the past 2 years, shooting over 34% from three-point range. When Chris Bosh went down, the Heat switched Deng to a stretch four, and both he and the team drive. Deng always been a great defender. His ability to improve his three-point shooting only increased his value. The Heat will face a tough decision with letting Deng walk. They have Justin Winslow, who gives them a future long-term option on the wing, but might want to keep Deng all the same. If he's available, he's a player that nearly every team would benefit from having around. Deng has likely worked himself north of $15 million per year with how he finished the season, and could be looking for one last long-term deal. Now, excuse me. With that being said, Lou Deng did come out and say that he loves it in Miami. He felt like Miami treated him way better than other teams. I'm not going to give names, but he said just the way they treated him, the way they made him feel at home, and how they utilized his skill set. He really was happy about it. Now, the 2 years he was in Miami, he took pay cuts in order to stay in Miami. Now, the thing is, will they do Lou Deng like they did Wade? Will they honor him and pay him? It all depends. Me personally, I think everything basically goes like this. They try to make sure they can sign Hassan and Wade, but at the point in the time, they only gonna be able to sign one. Hassan gonna definitely want max contract, especially when you got other teams that are willing to give him the max. I think with that being said, I can see Miami trying to move Goran Dragic in order to free up some money, because like I said, this dude making $15 million, and I'm not saying the dude's a scrub or bum or nothing like that, but just right now, you got too many guys making too much money, and you gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta make sure you bring role players in order to continue to be in a playoff / championship type of team. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have the money. So with that being said, I can see them moving Goran Dragic, and they could probably try to re-sign Lou Deng. Now the thing is, how much are they willing to pay Lou Deng? You know what I'm saying? So with that, you got the Atlanta Hawks who are looking at him. He definitely can play small for Atlanta. Now, like I said, everything is based on these priority players first. So Atlanta's not going to be looking at him too in depth, because they're definitely trying to re-sign Al Horford and Ken Bazemore. That's their number one priority. You got the Toronto Raptors. Their priority, like I said, is DeMar DeRozan. They definitely need a small forward. They're looking at him. The Jazz was looking at him, but they said they decided they want to go after Solomon Hill, but don't sleep on them not going back after Lou Deng, though. The Clippers definitely can use them. I mean, because they definitely need a small forward. They need a small forward ever since Matt Barnes left. You know what I mean? So they need a small forward. They need a feisty person who can shoot and play defense, and Lou Deng will fit that squad just as good. The only way I can see them getting Lou Deng, that's only if Jamal Crawford decided to go to the Clippers, and that's also another thing I'm going to talk to you about with Joe Johnson. So the teams I just named are the main teams that Lou Deng can basically be on. Also in the New York Knicks, but he had to come off the bench. Now, does he mind coming off the bench? It depends. I mean, if they're willing to pay him, and he come off the bench and play a role player spot, it can happen. But with that being said, I see Miami, the Clippers, and the Jazz as the main three teams that can wind up with Lou Deng. I mean, like I said, also it depends on if he take a pay cut, stay with Miami, or does he cash out and try to get a big pay based on his age, and will he want to go to a team that's in the process of rebuilding, or do he want to go to a team that's right now a championship contender type team? You know what I mean? Like, New York will be a championship contender type team. Mark my words, this year they're going to be pretty much better than what they was last year. A lot of people sleeping with Derrick Rose. I give him a day of redemption. You know what I mean? So I can see Lou Deng between New York. I say New York? No, my bad. Yeah, New York. I can see him coming off the bench with New York, or the Clippers starting, and Miami. Those three teams right there. And like I said, the Jazz, that's if they don't get Solomon Hill. So those couple teams right there. Also, Minnesota's looking at him too. Don't forget about Minnesota. Minnesota and Memphis are looking at him. Now, Memphis got a bunch of old guys, man. I don't know what Memphis is planning on doing. They talking about they might re-sign Lance Stevenson. So everything plays out right now. So we'll see what they decide to do. Minnesota, they can use him coming off the bench. Brooklyn right now, Brooklyn need everybody, man. I don't even want to talk about Brooklyn. Brooklyn make me so upset. You know what I mean? I'm just upset with them. Houston definitely could use him as a small forward. But I know they're more focused on getting. They're already stating on re-signing Michael Beasley, and I hope Michael Beasley pan out, man. I really do. I hope this guy gets his act together. But with that being said, that's the thing on Luke Deng. These teams are basically looking at him. Like I said, at the end of the day, the main thing is the priority players. So you're not going to hear too much about Luke Deng or Joe Johnson right now at this moment as we speak. So a lot of stuff is basically on, me just digging in the archives and seeing, what I think these players will go, and based on some of the stuff that they said in articles and stuff like that. So with Joe Johnson, we're going to jump to him, and we go to CBS Sports once again, and the analysts break Joe Johnson out like this. They say, ISO Joe just keeps chugging along. He averages fewest points per game in 13 years. Man, Joe Johnson been around a long time, but still managed to shoot 44% from the field and 38% from the three-point range at age 34. He's as durable as they get, a good locker room guy, a total pro, and can play three positions at this point. He's still tough in the post, still a sneaky good playmaker, and a guy who has absolutely zero fear of late-game shots. Johnson is likely only available for super contenders. He nearly signed with Cleveland, which could use him, but if the Warriors are looking to restock their bench, Johnson will be a prime candidate for a ring-chase rotation guy. If Johnson is looking for one more big deal, it gets hairy. A sizable 2-year deal for a mid-level playoff team might be okay. Now, will Golden State give him 10? I don't know how much this guy. Remember, this guy made a lot of money in Brooklyn. I mean, with bad contracting. I mean, it is what it is. The guy can shoot. The guy can ball. Even at the age 34, he still can shoot. Now, these are some of the teams that were looking at him during the time when Brooklyn let him go. Excuse me. New York, Miami, Celtics, Atlanta, Cleveland, Houston, Toronto, OKC. Now, Miami jumped on him. He almost signed with Cleveland, but Miami jumped on him quicker. Now, if he went to Cleveland, he could have won the championship too. You know what I mean? It would have been pretty good. But he went with Miami. I guess because of taxes, and he wasn't really getting that much money. But he likes it. He said he likes it in Miami also. Miami definitely would like to re-sign him, but it all depends on Joe. I mean, does Joe take a pay cut to go back in Miami? Because right now they real tight in money. Do they make this move in order to move Dragic in order to make enough money for him and Luke Deng? I like to see Joe Johnson and Luke Deng back in Miami because I like when teams are competitive. I'm a big fan of competitive teams. I like it to be equal or semi-equal across the board. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But Atlanta, like I said, all depends on pickup. Remember, he made $2 million off of Miami. So, and with the CBA, he can definitely make anywhere from $5 to $10 million. So, New York, he would make a good addition off New York bench, and he even could start actually at the 2 because New York don't have a 2 guard. Miami, like I said, he can come off the bench as a swing man. It'd be pretty much good for Miami. But keep in mind, they do have young guys like Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson that I will really invest in. Those 2 young guys and Tyler Johnson more than I'll focus on Joe Johnson. These 3 guys are going to be your future. If I was Miami, I'll let those guys play around Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and just go get a center. And just get a bunch of other players. One thing about Pat Riley, he's real good at finding players with potential, but other people overlook them. Like I said, Atlanta can definitely use it because they can use a small forward. They don't have no small forward. Ever got Ken Bazemore, but he played out of position. You already seen that with LeBron. So I would like to see him either Atlanta. Houston definitely can use him coming off the bench or playing small forward. But like I said, they real big on trying to re-sign Beasley as well. And I like to see that combo of Harden and Beasley. I believe Beasley, if he actually get his game together and stay focused, this dude can give you 18, 20. You've seen games where he's like 23 points where he hit 20 something, but I'll make a video on Beasley when I get there. Toronto definitely can use him. OKC can use him. And the Clippers. Now the Clippers is one of the teams that I can see him going to between New York, the Clippers, and Miami. These 3 teams, and I'm going to throw Cleveland in there. These 4 teams right here will be the main team. Now they say Golden State. No, Golden State, I kind of like, I think Golden State will want to sign their players that were there before they actually go for somebody like Joe Johnson. I think they'll focus on them players first, but they can re-sign. I mean, they can get Joe Johnson if they want to. Joe Johnson might take a little pay cut to go play with Golden State because he want to play for a contender. I guess it's going to rain before he go out. Now the Clippers, getting back to them. Jamal Crawford is also opt out. He said that he's looking at a couple teams. I mean, well, he like to hear, it's free agents. He like to hear what teams are saying about him. Now, if the Clippers, Jamal Crawford decide, like he was saying, like he would like to go back. He would like to play back in New York. He missed New York, stuff like that. So, if say for instance, if New York actually signed Jamal Crawford and Joe Johnson is available, I can see the Clippers actually picking up Joe Johnson, and they will actually pick up where they left off. They wouldn't lose too much out because I think Joe Johnson's a better shooter than Jamal. Jamal just a better guy. He just had better handles. But Joe Johnson is a more feisty type of defender. And one thing about Joe Johnson is that he could play two positions, really three, but I don't think the Clippers going to go small ball like that. Especially when they still got Blake Griffin. That'd be kind of crazy. They could, but you know, to each his own, how would they choose to do it. But Joe Johnson can actually play the 2 or the 3. You know what I mean? Crawford played the 1 and the 2, but Joe Johnson played the 2 or 3, and he's a good defender. So I can see him actually going to the Clippers. Like I said, the Clippers, Miami, Cleveland, and New York. That's the teams that I think that Joe Johnson will benefit from. These are the teams that I can see actually making some noise for him to win a championship. Now, does he take a pay cut? It all depends. But me personally, I hope that Miami decide to go with the 3 amigos with Winslow, Richardson, and Johnson, and just go with those young guys and build around them, man. I mean, you know, they're their future. So with that being said, this is your man Urban Lover. Y'all get in the comment section for those that are Miami fans and like to know what's going on. I'd like to hear what you guys got to say, what y'all think that are Miami's going to actually re-sign Joe Johnson and Lou Walton. I mean, not Lou Walton, I'm sorry. Joe Johnson and Lou Deng. Or are they going to let them walk? You know what I mean? So what do you think? So let me know. It's your man Urban Lover. Get in the comment section. Hit me up. Like, share, subscribe. Hope to hear from you soon.